think, ready.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well, Jean, let's have you look at some of these photos maybe and have you talk a little bit about them.
All right, this is my mother and father's wedding. They were married in Prosser in August 19, I'm just going to say 16. It doesn't matter really, it was somewhere in there. And they had met in White Bluff, where mother's family grew up, moved from Yakima to White Bluff, was only about 100 feet away from Dad's shack.
Oh, okay.
So they met early in the shack.
They were neighbors.
Yeah. Okay, and this was a brand new Ford Touring. It wasn't Touring. What did I tell you it was?
You thought maybe a Model A, possibly?
No, I don't know. Anyhow, it was a brand new car. And when Dad went to into White Bluff to pick up the car, he took the 3 boys with him and bought them all 3 new hats. So they were stiffy and ready to go. And here they were just showing me off. And this is my house in White Bluffs. I love that house. And you can see from the pictures they had a great big lawn.
Right. I miss
And
the 4 kids again here.
We played, I was out on the grass all the time. The boys had pretend like airports over here with their model airplanes.
Oh, okay.
In those days they had airplanes that were made of steel or something. They were heavy.
Mm-hmm. And who took all these photos? Did your parents have a camera then? Do you know?
Are we all there?
No, but I mean, just
Oh,
the 4 of
yeah.
you kids, but did your family have
Yes, they had a Kodak box, and those other pictures that I took when I was older, I had a little tiny thing that took 110. And then they finally did away with the 110 film. So the girls gave me a digital 3M or something, I don't know, I can't play it. So I don't take any more pictures. Yeah, that's since 1937.
Mm-hmm. So you were about 12 years old the year you were born?
25. No, I was little. I was
Oh,
about
the year you were
4. I
little,
didn't
yeah.
get to go to school yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see the books.
And that's the orchard that they worked in. Had a ladder to climb up a tree, and there was a ladder. And there was the dog standing there with them. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Bim was always with them.
That was your family dog?
Mm-hmm. It was some kind of a, can't remember.
And who's this here?
That's my second brother. He was the one that was on the gas run for the Navy.
Oh, okay.
He had come home from Pullman. He was very, very studious. He was the president of his senior class in college.
Oh, okay. He was at Washington State?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this one, my older brother went to the University of Washington, Seattle.
Okay, I'm going to bring in some of these school photos now.
This was the 7th grade.
And which one are you in here? You see yourself?
Remember,
Oh.
I was in the background,
Mm-hmm.
up by the teacher, tall. Yeah. And this is what, 5th and 6th. We were younger. See, that's me right there.
Oh, okay.
And my brothers were all ahead of me. That man's name was Tomet. He lived in Cleon. Fred Tomet.
He was the teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
This is taken outside in front of the school.
Mm-hmm. That looks like a pretty good-looking school, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Now here's an earlier one.
Yeah, that was the teacher that was second grade. I told her when she came back, had a little tiny, had a belly on her. Next time we knew, she had a new baby in her arms. That was my experience of when children come, taught in school.
And which one are you in this photo?
Oh,
No.
right there.
Okay, uh-huh. And there's grade
Oh, there's a
school.
whole bunch of them.
This looks like the whole grade school.
Must be.
White Bluffs. Mhm.
I thought I was down here in this end because that was the teacher. And that was my first grade teacher. I told you she was an older woman.
Mhm.
And you know, to this day, I called her Mrs. Moody. And there's a lady in Ellensburg that my brothers went to school with, and they called her Mrs. So-and-so. In those days, that's all, you did not call them by Martha and Georgia. They were Mr. and Mrs., and that's what was in that list that Leslie made of all those men in town. I knew, I didn't know their first names that came to me, but they were always Mr. Gilhooly and Mr. Ryerson and Mr. English. Kids in those days didn't say, "Hi, Fred." I can't tell. I can't tell, but I'm there.
Mhm. Let's see. Well, that's the last one on that. Then the other thing I wanted to have you talk about is this.
Yeah, that
I'd
was
say
the
what that
name
is.
of my father's apple. When Buck, this was painted on the back side of his on the solid end of the apple box. And that does say White Bluffs on it. Coddington Heidemann, Fred Ray, Seattle was his his when the stuff was shipped out.
Mhm.
When it went right into the store, or right into people. It was Perrin in Yakima, Perrin Fruit Company.
And who was Heidemann?
He was a neighbor. We lived here and went through the orchard and he lived right there. And they had 5 children and they were all younger than we were.
Mhm.
But it's funny how they grew up because 2 of the boys were teachers they came into Yakima. They were agriculture teachers, and one was a livestock teacher. And they came into the school from Wenatchee. So many of those kids, they moved out of White Bluffs
Mhm.
whenever they had to,
Mhm.
and they all stayed within the area almost.
Mhm.
I don't know, some of them must have left and went out of state, but a lot of them just stayed with what they knew. That's the
Mhm,
only thing you
mhm,
could do. You
mhm.
couldn't get re-educated.
Mhm. A lot of them stayed close by.
Mm-hmm.
I might ask, do you know how large your farm was? Like how many acres?
I think it was something like 22. It wasn't large, but they were all trees.
Mhm. And so your father partnered with Mr. Heidemann for these
Mhm.
apples?
Well, I would say Mr. Heidemann went with my
Mhm.
father because
Mhm.
he wanted to build it.
Okay.
And Fred Heidemann said, "Well, I'll help you."
Okay.
so they got into real good friendship.
Mhm.
Us kids were all good friends, but the parents didn't have much to do until they got into this.
Mhm.
But he was, as I said before, a lot of people had great respect for him for letting me have jobs.
Mhm. Right.
Now, not to say, change the subject, but my boys are the same way as my dad was. Because my boys hire whatever they have to hire, and the boys that they hire are comment to them and to their parents how easy and how nice it is to work here. Because they say thank you, they don't yell at them. They're paid every time they need money or time they're off. They're always, and that's what they have learned. And they did the work, pay them. Don't say you have to wait until Monday. So they have very good respect in the valley. I'm very, very proud.
That's
I'm
great.
very proud of all of
Sure.
them.
I was asking you, how did you come across this label? How did you get this label?
I have no idea. Somebody must have drawn it up for him.
All right, thanks. Thank you.
Mhm.
That was very good, very helpful.